All right, guys. Hi. So this is our Dragon Time assignment for this week. It is the Muslim contributions DBQ. DBQ means document-based questions. All that means is you are going to be reading a document and answering a question or two about each document. Eventually, we are going to build up to writing a paragraph about each document or about the documents, or even an essay about the documents. But right now, we're just going to focus on answering the questions and reading the documents. All right, so we are going to open this up with Cami. Don't worry about the first page. That would be if we were actually doing a essay or a paragraph based off of the essential question for the documents. We're not. We are just reading the documents and answering the questions that go with each one. So on pages 2 through 4 of the PDF, we are going to read each document and answer the question off to the side. We will answer the questions by adding in a text box underneath each question and typing our answers. And we are also going to highlight where we find each answer in the text. When we are done, we are going to turn it in and make sure it is also turned in on Google Classroom. Again, this way I know that myself and Mrs. Romine know that it's done, not just on Cami, but also on Google Classroom. That way we don't accuse you of not having it done, even though it is, and you just didn't hit a button. All right, so we're going to open this up with Cami. So we click on it. We hit open with Cami. Wow, there's so many teachers using Cami in my domain. All right, this is document 1. This is page 1, I mean. Not document 1, this is page 1. My apologies. All right. It is saying the following question is based on the accompanying documents. The documents have been edited for the purpose of this exercise, meaning that you're not reading the full thing, you're just reading a small section. This question below is designed to test your ability to work with and understand historical documents. If we were writing a paragraph or an essay based off of these documents, we would be answering the question, why were the Muslims able to make such great contributions and how did these contributions impact the world? That's what we would be doing. However, right now, we are just reading the documents and answering the question where it says student analysis. All right, so we'll do document 1 together, and then I'll let you do the rest on your own. So document 1, it says the source is from the textbook World History Patterns of Interaction, and it is to explain why Muslims both preserved existing knowledge and extended it, meaning that they translated it, they learned more, they spread it. Muslims had practical reasons for supporting the advancement of science. Rulers wanted qualified physicians treating their ills, meaning they wanted people that knew what they were doing to actually help them. The faithful relied on mathematicians and astronomers to calculate the times of prayer and the direction of Mecca. Muslims need to pray facing towards the city of Mecca. That is where Muhammad was born, and that is where the religion of Islam was created. Their attitude reflected a deep-seated curiosity about the world and a quest for truth that reached back to Muhammad himself. So even Muhammad wanted to know a lot about the world, and he wanted to know the truth about everything. After the fall of Rome in 476 AD, Europe entered a period of upheaval and chaos, an era in which scholarship suffered. So people weren't learning that much during that time period. There was a lot of struggle going on, and education was not their biggest priority. But in the early 800s, the House of Wisdom opened in Baghdad. There, scholars of different cultures and beliefs worked together, translating from Greece, India, Persia, and elsewhere into Arabic. All right, we've talked about how the Muslims have actually translated Greek, Roman, Persian, even Indian works into Arabic. They did this so they could read it and so they could keep it for other people to read. Remember, if it wasn't for these translations, we may not have nearly as much info on the Greeks and the Romans as we do now. All right, so now that we've read this document, our question is asking, what were the reasons for Muslims' interest in learning? Okay, so to do that, I'm first going to highlight where I find things that answer my question. So I'm going to go to markup. I'm going to click text highlighter. I'm going to click yellow because I like yellow. All right, what were the reasons for Muslim interest in learning? Well, rulers wanted qualified physicians treating their ills. the faithful relied on mathematicians and astronomers to calculate the times of prayer and directions to go to Mecca. Their attitude reflected a deep-seated curiosity about the world and for truth that extended back to Muhammad himself, I should say. Oops, I missed a piece. No. Okay, there we go. It can get a little picky at times. Oh no, I forgot a little piece. That's what I want. That's good enough. All right. In the early 800s, the House of Wisdom opened in Baghdad. There, scholars of different cultures and beliefs were translated from Greek, India, Persia, and elsewhere into Arabic. All right. That doesn't need to be highlighted, but that is a very important piece. So instead of actually highlighting that in yellow, because I know that is such an important piece, I'm going to highlight that in blue. I know that that is so important. I'm going to highlight that in blue. All right. It's not important for the question, but it's important for my knowledge because I know that that's going to show up other places later. And if I'm telling you that's going to show up other places later, you're going to want to know that. Big time. Hey, by the way, our text is next Thursday. Our test over Islam is next Thursday. That's a hint. That's going to be on the test. That's a hint. All right. So now I'm going to go back to the text box. Now that I've highlighted where I found things for my answers, I am actually going to be silly, add in a text box, and I'm going to start typing my answers. Rulers wanted qualified physicians treating their ills. The faithful relied on mathematicians and astronomers to calculate the times of prayer and the direction of Mecca, and their attitude reflected a deep-seated curiosity. I can't spell. Thankfully, I can right-click and it tells me how to fix it. About the world and a quest for truth. All right. Drag the box to fit a little better. Boom. Okay. So that's how we do it. Obviously, when you get in the text, you could obviously do it by bullet points. You could do it as a little box answer like I just did. You can bold, you can italicize, you can underline. You can change text color. You can change the highlight color if you want to highlight a piece of your answer. There's a background color, so you can get rid of the rest of the box. That's like making it harder to read. All right, so there's a lot of things you can do. Please don't add emojis. Okay, very, very good. All right, now you remember you also have the text-to-speech function. You can highlight things and have it read it to you. It's not perfect. Accepted. Okay, so even if you're struggling to read it, it has a text-to-speech function. It works. And look, you can even change the voice. If you don't like David, you could switch to Zira or Mark. Don't switch to the others. Those are not in English. Don't do that. Okay? And so that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of Dragon Time. All right, make sure you are highlighting where you find your answers. I would recommend highlighting first before you type. That way you can look back and everything. Reword it, put it in your own words. Yes, I typed this almost the exact same to show you how I was using my highlight to actually answer the question. But please reword it, put it in your own words. All right, you have 9 documents that you're going to do. Okay. Once you are done, make sure you hit submit, make sure you turn it in, and make sure you turn it in on Google Classroom as well. All right. When you are done with this, if you have any time left over in class, work on anything you do not have finished, whether that is something from Dragon Time last week. Bless me, I'm sorry. Whether that is something from Dragon Time last week, something from social studies class, something from science, something from literacy, something from math, something from related arts. Work on something you don't have finished. Guys, there is no reason to have homework over the weekend, not over the weekend, at night when you have time in Dragon Time when you get your stuff done. There's no reason to have homework. So, make sure you're working on all that. Get it turned in. Have a good rest of your day, guys.